Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about phrases that start with in the. So in this English lesson, I will teach you just over 25 phrases. I think there are 25. Oh, there's 24. 24 phrases that we use that start with in the. Examples would be in the end, in the past, in the future, in the spotlight, in the bag, in the process, in the dark, in the way. There are a lot of phrases that start this way. In fact, there are so many phrases I myself was able to think of 24 of them without having to do any searching or to ask AI to fill out my list for this English lesson. So, what are these phrases? These are common phrases we use in English. If you look at this one, this person is in the lead. You'll notice I used a phrase with in the in order to describe the fact that this person is winning the race. And there are many more English phrases that work this way. So, once again, welcome to this English lesson about phrases that have or start with in the lead, which means to be ahead of everyone else in a race, competition, or contest. So right now we are experiencing the World Cup. We are watching teams win. We are watching teams lose. So some teams have players who have scored a lot of goals, and they are now in the lead for total number of goals. Actually, here they are tied for the lead. So this might be a bad example, but Mbappe and Messi, it looks like Mbappe is number one and he is in the lead. So that means he is ahead of everyone else in a race, competition, or contest. I'm not sure who will get the golden boot. I think that's the prize for being the top scorer in the FIFA World Cup, but in the lead, to be ahead of everyone else in a race, competition, or contest. So if you run in a race, and if you are the person who is ahead of everyone else, you are in the lead. You are ahead of everyone else in a race, competition, or contest. By the way, I should add this. It only happens while the race is happening. Once the race is over, you have either won the race or someone else passed you. So you can only be in the lead while the competition or race is happening. In the know, having information that most other people do not have. So here we have one lady whispering to another lady, and she's saying, the surprise party for Bib is in 2 weeks. Is it in 2 weeks? Maybe it's in 3 weeks. Anyways, if you know something and other people don't know it, you're in the know, okay? If your boss says, don't tell anyone, but we're going to be hiring 3 new people in a month, but it's a secret right now, you are in the know. You have information that most other people do not have. So sometimes it's fun to be in the know. It's not nice if you're not in the know. If someone says, hey, I hear you're at work, they're going to hire some new people. You might say, well, I'm not in the know. I have no idea. Or you might say, yeah, my boss told me it's nice to be in the know. So again, in the know, having information that most other people do not have. In the clear, free from danger, trouble, or suspicion. If a police officer pulled me over for a driving offense, and then during the stop, the police officer started to look in my car, I'd be like, what is he looking for? What's going on? By the way, I don't do anything illegal. But if he says, okay, you're free to go, that means I'm in the clear. I'm allowed to leave. If there was a fire on our farm and I was in the middle of the area where the fire was, I would run to be in a safe area. And when I got to the safe area, I'd be in the clear. I'd be free from danger. So when you are in the clear, you are free from danger, trouble, or suspicion. In the news. I've never really been in the news. They've never announced that Bob the Canadian has done something amazing and we need to report on it. But in the news means being talked about or reported on by the media. Now, here's a funny example, though. Jen has been in the news. Every few years, someone will come to the farmer's market, a journalist who's writing a newspaper article, and they will talk to Jen and they'll take pictures of her booth. They love taking pictures of the flower booth because it makes for a good picture. And then Jen will be in the news. So someone will say, hey, I saw you the other day. You were in the news. So it can mean the newspaper, but I should say, as I say it, I think it has an undertone of being on TV. And Jen has never been on TV, but in the news, being talked about or reported on by the media. In the way, blocking someone or something from moving or working properly. So something can be in the way, or a person can be in the way. Yesterday, I had to have an electrician come to the farm because we were having trouble with the electrical circuits that run the flower coolers, but there was a lot of stuff in the way. So I had to move boxes and vases, boxes of vases and other stuff that Jen had. It was all in the way. So I had to move it so the electrician could come and do his work. A person can sometimes also be in the way. When Jen and I are loading things into the van, if someone comes to talk to us, one of our kids, sometimes they stand in the way and you're like, move, get out of the way. So when you are in the way, you're blocking someone or something from moving or working properly. And if something is in the way, it also can block you from doing what you need to do. You can see here, these boxes are in the way. And this man is going to get in trouble for this soon. You'll see in a picture coming up. But yes, in the way, blocking someone or something from moving or working properly. In the distance, far away, but still able to be seen or heard. So the main focus of this photo is not the man, but in the distance, you can see the mountains. In the distance, you can see the sun is hitting the top of the mountain. It's very, very cool. In the distance, you can see a few clouds in the sky. So when you use the phrase in the distance, it definitely means far away, but you're still able to see it or maybe hear it. Like I heard a sound in the distance. I heard a dog barking in the distance. In the distance, you can see there's rain. There are rain clouds coming. So once again, in the distance, far away, but still able to be seen or heard. In the doghouse, in trouble with someone because of something you did. So this phrase you might hear on a TV show or in a movie. It is almost always portrayed as a wife getting annoyed with her husband. And then we say the man is in the doghouse. So this, I guess, is supposed to bring about an image of the man actually going outside and maybe sleeping in the doghouse where the dog normally lives because his wife is very angry with him. You can also be in the doghouse at work. Like if you do something to annoy your boss, he might give you a really crummy job for the day and you might say, yes, I talked badly to the boss, now I'm in the doghouse. But generally you will see this phrase used to talk about a husband who has done something to annoy his wife, and now his wife is annoyed. So I guess in this picture, maybe the man actually put the boxes in the way, and now his wife is like, don't put those boxes in the way. So the man is in trouble with someone because of something that he did. In the dark, not knowing or not being told important information. So if you are in the dark, you are not in the know. So when you're in the know, you know information, but when you're in the dark, you don't know information. So this man in the background, I was going to say in the distance, he's not quite far away enough for that, but in the distance, you can see apartment buildings. He's in the dark. He is not in the know. The two people whispering are talking about something, probably something important. And he's wondering, what are they talking about? Is it the surprise party for my birthday? So in the dark, not knowing or not being told important information. This can happen at work. Often at work, I'm in the dark about things because I am a teacher and I am not a superintendent. I'm not a principal. I'm not a vice principal. I'm not an administrator. Sometimes they are in the know about things that I don't need to know. I'd rather be in the dark because they deal with important stuff that normal teachers don't need to worry about in the process when something is happening. So you might have friends who are in the process of building a new house. Someone might be in the process of looking for a new job. You might be in the process of starting a business. So when something is happening, we sometimes use the phrase in the process. So this definitely is a house, and you can see they're in the process of building it. They aren't starting to build it. They aren't done building it. They're in the process. You could also, here's another phrase. You could also say they're in the middle of building it. So you can see they have the first floor done It looks like they have an electrical box here with some protective poles around it, and they are starting on the second floor. They are in the process of building this house. Now, I'm actually not sure, as I described this, how many times I said process and how many times I said process. So they're in the process of building a house. They're in the process of building a house. I think because I live in Canada, there are a number of words that we pronounce two different ways. Process, produce is another one. So you can produce, you can have produce. Anyways, I don't want to confuse you too much. This house is definitely in the process of being built. So it is when something is happening. In the bag, almost certain to happen. When Canada was playing against Qatar, they were leading 1-0 and then 2-0 and then 3-0. At that point, people were starting to think the win is in the bag. This is in the bag, which means it's almost certain to happen. If you ever watch a football game, if a team is winning 3-0 at the half or 4-0 or 5-0, not always, but most times the game is in the bag. You know, things can always change, but when something is in the bag, it is almost certain to happen. In the works, being planned, developed, or worked on. Hey, are you building a new house? Yeah, it's in the works. We talked to an architect. We have blueprints. We're going to be starting soon. Do you have any plans for the summer? Oh yeah, we have a few things in the works. We're going to go camping. We're going to go see the new Supergirl movie. We have a few things in the works. How is your new business doing? It's doing well. We have a few projects in the works. So it's a pretty universal term. You can use it to talk about a wide variety of things that are being planned, developed, or worked on. In the right, correct or justified in a situation. So here we have a judge saying you win. You can tell this is an AI image because the judge is not where the judge would normally be sitting at the other end of the courtroom. But if you are in the right, it means you are correct or justified in a situation. If I'm driving 50 in a 50 zone and a police officer gives me a ticket, that's not right. I'm in the right. He's in the wrong. We'll get to that in a sec. So when you're in the right, it means you are doing the correct thing or you are justified in a situation. If Jen goes to market and if she's supposed to be in spot number 11 and she puts her canopy and sets up in spot number 11, she's in the right. That's the spot where she is supposed to be. I hope this doesn't raise too much controversy, but when you're in the wrong, you're guilty of doing something. So there was a recent event in World Cup where a player hit another player's ankle and nothing happened. And then another player did the same in another game and got a red card. Both of these players are in the wrong, though. You should never injure another player while playing football or soccer. You are guilty of doing that. You are in the wrong. When you play the game, you're supposed to kick the ball. If you kick a player, you're in the wrong. You are guilty of doing something that you are not supposed to do. I think the Americans are pretty upset about this one. In the moment, giving all your attention to what is happening right now. So if you look at this person, they are watching the sunset. They are in the moment. They're not on their phone. Like if you're watching this English lesson and you're also on your phone and you're also cooking supper, you're not in the moment. When you're in the moment, you are giving all your attention to what is happening right now. When I'm doing a live English lesson, I need to be in the moment. I can't just be like, if I kept looking outside and if I was like looking over there, like I need to be present. I need to be in the moment while I'm doing these lessons. I need to give all my attention to what is happening right now. And you should as well. In the spotlight, receiving a lot of public attention. So right now, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, there might be a wedding today or this weekend. I don't know, but they have been in the spotlight lately. There have been a lot of news articles about these two as they plan for their upcoming wedding. At least that's what we think is going to happen. So they have been in the spotlight and they have been receiving a lot of public attention. I'm having trouble being in the moment right now because it's very windy and raining outside, and we weren't expecting that this morning. So anyways, in the spotlight, receiving a lot of public attention. In the past, in the future. So in the past is the time before right now. So in the past, I used to do live English lessons every Saturday. Talk about working too much. That was far too much. Now I just do a live English lesson the first Saturday of every month. In fact, there will be one tomorrow, July 4th at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So in the past would be the time before right now. In the past, I used to work full time and do YouTube. That was too much work. So it says the time before right now, but it usually refers to something more than a month or two ago. Like, hey, do you still sell flowers at 2 markets? No, well, in the past we did. Now we only sell at 1. In the future, the time ahead of right now. So we are sitting here on July 3rd, 2026. In the future, I might have a camera like this. Sorry, I kind of missed my description there. We're sitting here in 2026. I have a camera on a tripod, but in the future, the time ahead of right now, I might have a camera more like this that flies around and films me quietly while I'm making a video. I do have a camera that will fly around, but this one is definitely more futuristic. So in the future, the time ahead of right now. In the future, these live lessons might be 3D in virtual reality. We'll have to see. In the end, the last thing that happens or the outcome. So last time we had the World Cup, there were a number of possible outcomes, but in the end, Argentina ended up winning the World Cup. So it is the last thing that happens. Did you get the new job? You know, in the end, I didn't end up getting that job, but I got a different job instead. So it's kind of like the conclusion, the outcome, the last thing that happens. This was a fun moment, although I was sad because I wasn't cheering for Argentina. I was cheering for the other team in that matchup. In the limelight, receiving a lot of attention from the public or the media. Sorry to have so many World Cup photos, but this is kind of what's happening right now. When someone is in the limelight, it means you see them a lot on TV, you see them a lot in the news, you see them a lot online or on YouTube. Right now, these two guys are definitely in the limelight. They're receiving a lot of attention from the public or the media. It's very similar to in the spotlight. In fact, the phrases are almost identical. This one is simply used a bit less. It's not quite as common. But yes, when you are in the limelight, you are receiving a lot of public attention, a lot of attention from the public or the media. In the habit, doing something regularly, a routine. This family is in the habit of recycling. Jen and I are also in the habit of recycling. I'm in the habit of wearing shirts with a collar and short sleeves when I go to work as a teacher. Some of you are in the habit of watching these live lessons every Friday. So when you are in the habit, you are doing something regularly. It is a routine. Jen and I are in the habit of putting the garbage out at the road every Thursday morning because that's when the garbage truck comes. So in the habit, doing something regularly, a routine. In the loop, knowing the latest information or being included in discussions. So this is a lot like in the know. If you're in the loop at work, you know about the secret project. If you're in the know, you know about the secret project. If I tell you there's a live English lesson tomorrow, you're in the loop now. You are aware of the latest information. So sometimes people like to be in the loop and they aren't necessarily supposed to be. Sometimes people try to find out information because they want to be in the loop, but because they want to be in the loop. Sorry, sometimes I read the chat during the lesson. They want to know the latest information and be included in discussions. In the zone, completely focused and performing at your best. Two of my kids like to watch Counter-Strike tournaments on TV or on YouTube. On TV. Old people watch it on TV. Those players, professional video game players, they need to be in the zone when they're playing the game. They need to be completely focused and performing at their best. When I'm doing a live stream, I need to be in the zone. I can't be distracted by the weather or the power going out. I need to be in the zone. I need to be completely focused on what I'm doing and performing at my best. In the cards, likely or expected to happen. So if you applied for a job and someone says, do you think you'll get the job? You could say, I think it's in the cards. I think I'll probably get the job. So you are expecting it to happen. Someone might say, hey, is it in the cards for you to get a raise at work this year? Are you going to get paid more? And you might say, yeah, I think that might be in the cards. That is likely or expected to happen. Is this live stream going to happen next Friday? Yep, that's in the cards. I think this must come from like using, is it tarot cards to predict the future? That's probably where the phrase came from. In the cards, likely or expected to happen. In the picture, to be part of a situation, to be part of someone's life sometimes. Here's the example. If you have a niece and last time you saw your niece, she had a boyfriend. And then the next time you see your niece, she's by herself. You could say, hey, is Joe still in the picture? Like, are you still together? Are you still dating? I'm trying to think of another. It's definitely related to relationships. Like, is he still in the picture? Is she still in the picture? Oh, Uncle Joe had a girlfriend for a while, but she's not in the picture anymore. That means they're no longer together. So in the picture, to be part of a situation.